Hey, good morning, everyone. You are listening to the Tetsudo Mokei podcast edition, episode 27. I hope everyone is having a good week as we head towards the end of the week and about to head to the weekend. Um, I want to start off first. First, for those who are traveling Japan, cherry blossoms are still there. That's the good news. They had some rains, but from seeing many other videos on YouTube, looks like cherry blossoms are still there. So those are who are arriving in Japan next week. Knock on wood, you could still see them. Um, I do want to promote a few things before we start the episode. Like on April 1st or the 2nd is the Acosta event. So if you're coming to Japan, Ikebukuro will be the main location of this major cosplay event. Um, I've been to Acosta events before. They're pretty interesting. I've been there as a photographer, and I had friends who have been there before. And what you would have to do is that you get thousands of people who are dressed up in costumes, and then if you're a photographer, then you have a lot of backdrops, and you have. This is pretty much your opportunity to get photo shoots. That's the main purpose of it, for people to dress up, for photographers to have your models that you could work with for 10 to 15 minutes. It's not a convention or anything. It's more of people show up to show off their costumes, and then photographers either to practice their skill or take pictures of some of the awesome cosplayers there. So it will be at Ikebukuro. Usually it's around the Sunshine City area. There's a building there. You'll see tons of people in cosplay outfits. And again, it starts at April 1st and the 2nd. It is not free. There are two prices, one for the people who are going there as cosplay and the people who are attending as photographers. So definitely check it out. Get there early because the lines are super long. So there are people who can get their tickets in advance, so that does help. So the next thing I want to bring up, let me move it over here, is Welcome Tokyo. I want to definitely promote my friend Kenichiro's company events. As you can see here, there's if you go here or their Facebook page, WelcomeTokyoEvents.com, there's always something happening every day throughout the day if you're in Tokyo. So if you want to take part in a Japanese English to or Japanese to English discussion groups, you can be part of that. If you want to go out for drinking events, you can be part of that. And of course, if you want to take part in Hanami, where you sit in the park area and enjoy, it's a big social event under the cherry blossom trees, you can also do that as well. And it looks like they have expanded to the Kansai area in Osaka, which is a plus. So definitely take advantage of that. As you can see here, they're having a meetup at Takada no Baba, and for paint and wine art, more Takada no Baba events right here. Takada no Baba is a place in Shinjuku ward that people go there for drinking. It's a big popular place for drinking, but it's also a place where for people to visit restaurants and other things. I know I've been there many times for drinking events, but also for what was it again? The Polar Bear Cafe. So if you want to go there for that, that's pretty cool. Also been there for some of the gourmet burgers. They have stuff like that as well. So this is again Welcome Tokyo, and again, there's events happening throughout the day. It's it's a pretty cool thing to check out. So just go ahead and visit their website, and you can get more information. The second or the third thing actually I want to talk about is questions I've been asked is if we are going to bring back the J podcast that we usually do covering Japanese entertainment and music. I have no intention of bringing it back right now. I know a lot of people enjoyed it. We did almost 300 episodes of it, but for now, the dedication right now for the entertainment stuff will be on neotokyo2099.com, and you would be able to find a lot of the Japanese entertainment news. So if you want to do that, just please visit this website right here. And okay, and one more news article. Let's check this one out here. This one is the Orange Shokudo 10th anniversary train is operated. On the Hisatsu Orange Railway, a special train was operated to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the commercial operation of the sightseeing train Orange Shokudo. On Friday, March 24th, 2023, the train will run between Kagoshima Chuo and Shin Yatsushiro, and on Saturday, March 25th, between Kumamoto and Sendai. Wow. So the commemorative and the departure ceremonies were held at Kumamoto Station, and the departure of Orange Shokudo was signaled by Kumamoto's prefecture mascot character Kumamon. On both days, head marks with the 10th anniversary design were posted on the front and the back of the vehicle. That is so cool. Let's check it out here. Got the Orange Restaurant right there. That's pretty cool. Okay, everyone, you have a good rest of your week, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. More Tetsudo Mokei coverage coming soon. I got a lot to go through. A lot of trains that came in recently. So anyway, you can see the mascot right there. Anyway, you all take care, and you have a good rest of your week. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, so this news from RKB Mainichi News is about the opening of the Nanakuma line on March 27th. And you got a positive because now it would take people, it shaves off pretty much 15 minutes now with this extension now opening. And I think the inconvenience are to people who ride buses because now they have to go to Hakata Station. And those who ride buses will be pretty much affected by the reduced number. So let's check this out.
地下鉄七熊線博多駅の入り口前です。午前5時前なんですが、すでに多くの方が列を作っています。
A lot of rail fans.
久留米の方から3時ぐらいに起きて親に送ってもらってここまで来ました。
Rail fans trying to get, they're just lining up to, get photos probably.
着いたのは3時半ぐらいです。新しい路線が開通するからやっぱり嬉しいなっていうのはあります。
新しく整備された地下鉄七熊線の博多駅には
So this is the new train. Subway, I mean. All those Tetsudo fans. The cameras, there we go. Grand opening.
地下鉄七熊線は天神南駅と博多駅までのおよそ 1.6 キロの区間で今日延伸開業しました。延伸区間は当初2020年度の開業を予定していましたが、2016年11月
Yeah, I remember when this happened in Japan and the big, it just collapsed.
開業が2年延期となっていました。
Remember there was like a 7-Eleven or something right there in the corner, and I just remember seeing the news. I'm like, wow, that is insane. But it took years for them to fix this. That's why it's opening now. I guess it took about 4 years or so, or no, more than 4 years, just to establish this new line.
一番最初の列車に乗ったけど、青と緑がちょっとかっこよかったな。 So a lot of people lined up, earlier at 5 a.m. just to get to the station. A lot of the railway fans. Yeah, the construction of when that thing collapsed was about 2 years. But now the addition of the Nanakuma subway line to Hakata Station shortens the travel time of about 14 minutes. That person just said that it's very convenient now going to work. His company is Hakata, so he used to go through via Tenjin Minami, but now it's very easy. Another person, and then the kid was saying that he liked the first train because of the blue and green was cool. Yeah, this person doesn't mind. He says he has plenty of time now with the new line.
無事に出勤することができました。
Oh, I like
一
those new
方、
trains.
これまで乗り換え地点となっていた天神南駅では、
いつもよりはなんか少なくか、やっぱり博多ま
I
で
think the other one was newer with the blue and green, but I think that's still pretty
もういつ
cool.
もはエスカレーターとかですね、もういっぱい溜まるような感じがあるんですけど、流れもスムーズなので。
天神南駅と博多駅
Okay,
が
so
つながったこと
Tenjin
で
is the one that a lot of people used to go to, Tenjin Minami Station.
減ると見られています。
七熊線の延伸開業に合わせ、天神
But
地
now
下街
that
の
the
南側で
transfer
は
has
新しい
changed
店が
to
オープンしてい
Tenjin
ます。
Minami Station,
天神
which
地下
was the
街では
major
人気
transfer
のスイー
point.
ツ店などを南エリアに集め、
Now
新
staff
たな賑わい
do
を
have
作ろ
some
うとしています。
concern.
乗り換えのお客様一定数減るとは思うんですけども、
They noticed that the escalator used to be super full, but now there's fewer people. They expect the number of transfer passengers to decrease.
七熊線沿線の居住者の方々にですね、多く来ていただけたら嬉しいなと思っております。
また、新しい駅ができた櫛田神社の周辺でも期待の声が上がっています。
So a lot of snack and sweets companies around there, especially through the underground station. You know, this place has been renewed as a shopping center and a renewed food area, and they're hoping if customers from
これまで
Hakata
空港線
Lane
の
would
長
come.
津川端駅近くにありましたが、延伸開業に伴い櫛田神社前駅の
So I
近
think
く
there's
に
just
移
some
転しま
fears
した。
because now that with the
櫛田神社駅、ここに
with the new
人
line,
流の
less people will go to their
大き
station,
な決断
but
でしたけれども移転をいたしました。
キャナルシティ博多と七熊線の橋本駅そばにあるこのハモールを運営する福岡支所は、
yeah, the person that was at the jewelry store said that he thought there would be a I guess his concern that there will be a big change in the flow of the extension.
あとは通勤で七熊線をご利用されているオフィスの方々の
But he decided to move his store because of
延
that.
伸開業に伴い変更点もあります。それが運賃とバスの減便です。
空港線函館線へのお乗り換えは博多駅となっております。お乗り間違いのないようご注意ください。
天神駅と天神南駅の乗り換え制度が今日から廃止になりました。乗り換えた場合、初乗り料金がかかるため、一部区間で
Okay,
は
so they're talking about the
運賃が上
transfer
がっています。
stations.
延伸開業に伴って七熊線の天神南駅と空港線の天神駅の間の乗り継ぎ制度の特例料金が廃止されました。これまでと同じように天神で乗り継ごうとすると一部の利用を除き初乗り料金が発生します。
Yeah, they're promoting the new
また
line.
乗車距離によって料金が上がる区間と下がる区間もあります。
七熊線の延伸開業に合わせて西鉄バスは減便されています。
Okay, so the transfer station has changed to Hakata Station. They're telling people that if they need to get a bus, they have to go there now. And this now has frustrated people who take the bus. A lot of the elderly use the bus. Yeah, the transfer system between Tenjin Station and Tenjin Minami Station was abolished on March 27th, yesterday. So, and also fares have increased in some sections.
都心を循環するキャナルシティラインを廃止しました。
So if you transfer at Tenjin, you'll be charged the first fare, except for some uses. Depending on the distance traveled, there are sections where the fare goes up, and sections where the fare goes down. But Nishitetsu bus services will be reduced due to the schedule revision. But they said this is a good thing because it would alleviate traffic congestion in the city center. But one guy said that let me pause this here. So he said that he was actually thinking of taking the Nanakuma line, but he was worried to take the new line because it would be so. He was expecting to be so crowded, I guess. So he decided to take the bus. But with the reduction of buses, yeah, there's going to be quite a few changes in store. If anything, anytime a new line is added to decrease the times for people, that's a major plus. It's a major plus. But that comes to the expense of, with a new line, that means less buses. And I can understand the frustration of people who depend on bus transit. But bus transit will always be there. I mean, using the buses will always be there. It's just that, you have to go to usually a bigger station in that area to ride one. So it's understandable both ways. I think everyone can understand that. So got it. Okay, so this one is from the Fukuoka News, FBS, and let's see how their coverage of the Nakanuma Line grand opening was. So let's check it out. I bypassed the stuff because it was similar to the other content, but this one had inside footage of people riding the train.
8万2000人と見込まれていて、利用者を取り込もうと沿線各地で動きが。
天神南駅降りてすぐにある天神地下街の南側エリアです。
おととい、このエリアには6店舗がオープン。アンケートで要望を
So that's good. At the new station, people can get their or visit their bakeries and various shops.
通学客が気軽に立ち寄れるようにして賑わいを作り出そうという狙いが。天神南と博多が結ばれることで。
Okay, no, that was a Tenjin Minami, which opened the one that they're promoting their new food court and everything inside the station.
天神南と博多のネットワーク強化により、博多からのお客様の輸入というのも、あるのかなと思っておりますので、そういったところで、
I mean, I can understand with Tenjin Minami businesses worried that. Oh, wait a minute, this thing is crowded.
出発までおよそ30秒ほどとなりました。先ほど
Tetsudo
ご出演
Mokei
していただいた方、無事に乗れたようで。
Everyone wants to ride the train for the first time. They are packing it like
延伸
sardines.
区間の開業に合わせて新たに作られたこの車両なんですけれども、黄緑に加えましてこのスカイブルーが装飾されているんですね。空の玄
For
関
me, I would
口、
just
福岡
rather
空
wait.
港まで交通
I
網が
figured
つなが
I'll
る
see
こと
this train
さらに
again.
アフターコロナの希望の未
I
来を
don't have to be there
示
on
してい
the
ると
first
い
grand
うことで
opening.
す。
I'm sure it's exciting, but
アナウンスがされています
not
が、
to
間も
be
なくド
that
アが閉まる
crowded.
ようですね。
閉まるかな。いっぱい乗ってます。
Especially for me, who carries a backpack and has to have my lenses and my camera stuff and my battery backups would be very inconvenient.
この一番列車の運転手というのはですね、シフトで選ばれたもので、言葉を選ばずに言うとたまたまこの巡り合わせになったということなんですよね。はい。でも
For me, I just feel claustrophobic looking at this. Oh, he got in.
まもなく
There
出
it
発
is.
するようです。
すごい瞬間ですね。
Shipats Shinko, all aboard.
あ、手振ってくださってる。
新たな動脈が動き始めました。
This one was really good. Their coverage is very good. Congratulating on the opening of the new train. Or a new subway, actually. Very cool.
ホームからは温かい拍手も送られていますけれども、天神南まではおよそ4分で到着するということになります。今、延伸開業万歳という掛け声が鳴りました。
万歳。
以上、中継でお伝えしました。はい。
Okay, let's check out this new one. This one is the retirement of the Wadamisaki Line 103 series, once called the Dragonfly Train. But people remember as a crowded train. Let's check it out.
改正で、JR 西日本の和田岬線からですね、綺麗な空色スカイブルーをしたですね、
This is courtesy of Kansai TV News, by the
が引退しました。この103系スカイブルーの103系は2001年にこの和田岬線が電化された時からですね、活躍している車両で、主にですねこの海沿いにあります造船所などにですね働く人をです、運ぶ、通勤の路線として活躍してきました。こうしたですね、国鉄時代からこれ活躍している車両なんですけれども、京阪新地区ではですねどんどんこの国鉄時代の車両が姿を消していっている中でですね、このスカイブルーの103系というのは全国に
So this is a branch of the Sanyo Main Line operated by West Japan Railway Company, connecting Hyogo and Wadamisaki.
この和田岬線というのは、JR の山陽本線、神戸線とも言いますが、兵庫駅から、和田岬駅
this train's been around since
8キロしかない、
well, no, the line has been around since 1890.
人気があります。
But
この路線はその造船所とか工場とかに、
in 2023, they unveiled 207 series, but what about this 103 series here? So that's why they called it the crowded train. It really had to shove people in there. Oh, wow.
ほとんどね客席のない、客車にですね人がすし詰めになってですね、通勤地獄という言葉がありますけれども、これ昔の
Oh my gosh, people had to hang. This is something they had to do in the early 1900s. You heard story about that. How people had to hang on the trains back then. Oh my gosh, he fell. I hope he's okay. Yikes.
この和田岬線実は電化される前はですね、客車をですね、ディーゼルの機関車。
Well, that's pretty interesting footage to see because you read about that, like the first initial trains that were built in Japan back in the 1800s or so, or was it actually maybe later, like 1905 or so, when after train carts, horse-pulled carts were ended for transportation. And they started going for more of the trains, electrified lines. They said that it was still a problem because there would be one car and too many people wanted to take them. So people would have to wait almost an hour, 30 minutes to an hour just to ride. So they would have to hang on a train just to get to their location. But I can see where this is coming from.
工場からですね引き込み線っていうのがずっとあって、
this actual train, the one they were showing, the Sky Blue, that was released by Green Max and also Tomix.
撮り鉄の皆さんの人気スポットであったりとか、あとはこの車両輸送にとっても非常に大切な意味のある、路線です。ただですね、この和田岬駅っていうのは実はJR だけじゃなくて2001年に神戸市営地下鉄の海岸線っていうのがですね、神戸の中心地三宮から結ぶ路線を開業しましてですね、要はそっちの神戸の真ん中とダイレクトに結んでるので結構お客さんをそっちに取られたりとかしててですね、一時存続が危ぶまれる時期があったりとか、あとはこれ実は兵庫運河という、結構大きな運河をですねこの和田岬線がまたいでるんですけども、ここをですね、船の通行を優先するために実はですね昔はですねこの間にこの橋があったんですけど、その橋が回転してですね大きな船通れるようにしてたんですけど、そのまま回転する機能を止めてたりするので、この橋がある和田岬線があるために大きな船が通れないので、神戸市としてはこの和田岬線を廃止してもええんちゃうかというようなこともJR 側に申し入れてたりしたんですけども、実際この和田岬線自体はですね実は黒字路線で、赤字じゃないので JR としては存続させて、残しておこうということで廃線にするつもりはないそうです。で鉄道ファンにとってもこの和田岬線というのはですね本当にこの街中をですね
I'm actually quite fond of the 103 series. I actually have, excuse me, I have two in my collection, the green and the orange. One from Osaka, the other one I saw in Kyoto. I thought about getting the sky blue and yellow, but I figured, you know what, I've never really ridden those, so that's one of the reasons why I've never picked it up. Although I was curious about getting this light blue.
桜のピンクとそれからスカイブルーの車体っていうのは結構
鉄の皆さんに人気があったんですけ
ど、そういうね素敵な景色がちょっと今回の引退で見られなくなったのは
You could usually find them quite cheap these days, but okay, that was cool. Okay, so if anyone is looking for the 103 series, Kato and Greenmax has released these trains before. Kato has done it several times, but here's the difference. If you see this one with the old box covers, these were released back in 2011, and you can still get them cheap. They're still available, but the newest one, as of 2022, is the 10-1743A. This was released back in 2022, as mentioned, and you can still get it cheap. And then if you see this is the add-on. So, and this one comes with looks like it comes with a box, but a different box. Yeah, usually just a green cardboard box, but yeah, I don't know if there's any significant difference from the 2011 version. Let's see here. Excuse me. So just comes in the same colors. I think it's just a re-release. I do not see anything here that they added anything different. Clear 11.2. No, I don't see anything here that that shows anything different from 2022 from 2011. Especially with the motor changes, I don't see anything different at all. But yeah, that is the 103 series if you're trying to get it. It's a classic one. You could find a 103 series, maybe the green Kyoto one, the orange Osaka one, the yellow one, or the emerald green one, or the sky blue. You could get these pretty cheap. Let's see here. So, an event planned by junior high school students who are railway fans, where you can enjoy a model railway in the station's premises inside JR Kiryu Station. That's pretty cool. Again, ways of bringing people into your train station, no matter how big or small, at least they're trying. So let's see here. This is to aim of supporting the Watarase Keikoku Railway, which has seen a decline in the number of users due to the coronavirus pandemic. This was opened by a 14-year-old railway fan and a resident of the city who opened a space that could be rented by the hour for one day only. In order to secure the venue, the young Kachiwase Daichi spent a month preparing a proposal to submit to related organizations. And he asked a colleague, to at a shop to provide certain models. So with the cooperation of the Life Transportation Association, the Kiryu Citizens Activity Promotion Network, and the Watarase Keikoku Railway Citizens Council, they made this diorama happen. Yay! So, I think that's pretty awesome. Kawashima Shinpei, who's 40 years old, visited the city with his 2-year-old son, and his son was absorbed in the model trains like he was 25 years ago. Seeing model railroads and familiar places made me feel nostalgic. I hope they will continue to do this. All proceeds will be donated to the Watetsu. Kashiwase envisioned, I'm glad that everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves. I want to encourage them to hold the event regularly. Okay, that's pretty awesome, man. Let's see this picture. Is it big? Can we see it big? Here we go. Checking out here. He has some islands right there. Has a few structures, but that's a pretty cool thing. He has 5 power controllers. Interesting how they include the viaducts and some of the that's pretty cool. I dig it. Let's check out another article here. Shinkansen Komatsu opens. Expectations rise. Train model driving experience event in Komatsu. So the countdown event for the opening of the Hokuriku Shinkansen Komatsu station was held on the 26th. And at the Niyagari Learning Center in Nomi City, a train model train driving and Sanrio character stages were popular with parents and children. To celebrate the city's official characters, Hipponon, Yuzumi, and Poponon, who turned 5 years old on the 25th. A quiz competition was held on Shinkansen and characters. Let's make this a little bigger here. Nope. Can we make the picture bigger? There we go. So we got a viaduct system with a double track. So it's pretty much a oval with a truss bridge right there. Still pretty cool. Okay. So this one here is a Chinese article, and it's about how Japanese were upset that they saw people wearing shoes on a tram chair. Let's see here. In response to the slowdown of the epidemic, many countries have gradually lifted border restrictions, and many people have also planned to travel abroad. However, a Japanese netizen broke the news on the internet that a pair of foreign parents took their children on the tram, but they let the children wear shoes and step on the seats at will. I see it right here. Okay. Right there. Okay. Unexpectedly, when Japanese netizens kindly reminded them to not to let their children do that, the foreign couple told them, "We are Chinese." A Japanese netizen posted on Twitter while riding on a tram, he suddenly saw a pair of foreign parents with a child, letting the child step on the rear seat with the shoes on without any discipline. Even when he reminded the other party that the child's behavior was inappropriate, the parents, in addition to being unhappy, replied, "We are Chinese," and some other words that they could not understand. Facing the unfriendly response, the original poster shouted angrily, "This is Japan." He also posted the photo of the incident. From the picture, it can be clearly seen that the child puts his shoes without worrying about the eyes of others, steps on the seat to enjoy the scenery outside the window. But the parents on the side did not stop this behavior, did not consider the seat would be used by other people. After the post was exposed, Netizen says, "Fortunately, you're fine. I really hope they don't come to Japan. Too lack of common sense and quality." Okay, I have my opinions on this. Okay. One thing you'll notice, especially if you're a foreigner and you're riding on the train in Japan, it's very quiet. Very quiet. You go in the early morning train, hardly anyone's talking. But every time you do see a big conversation in the morning or so, it's usually a traveler or a foreigner. And quite often, especially with large travel groups or whatever, you hear them talking so loud and loud and loud. And sometimes you hear, even young guys or so, talking about girls that they're looking at in the train and how hot they are, and thinking, oh, no one in Japan understands them. Another stupid thing there. And I don't think that thing is ever going to change. It's just how it is. Certain people, are used to that in their own culture. My goodness. I mean, here in America or here in especially on a flight, when it came to etiquette, or being, mindful of others, it seems that certain people think it's just okay. Who cares? But it just really it does shine a light on foreigner rude behavior, and furthering the cause of Japanese using the words "baka gaijin," stupid foreigners. It just enhances that, and unfortunately, it's sad to see. But at the same time, it's unfortunate. I mean, I I guess for me, I've been so used to Japanese culture and following how things are, and not making a fuss or making large discussions on the train. But there are people who do that, and again, a lot of them are foreigners. Once in a while, you'll see some women, or especially drunk women or drunk people, making discussion, but they're not loud. Usually, you see a lot of people who make these little fussy, comments, and are talking loud, and it just happens. You're gonna have your people who are just not familiar with how things are in Japan. Take certain habits from their country and bring it over, and it's unfortunate. Now, as for the kid on the standing on the seat of the train, okay, so a lot can be said about that, right? For one, in Japan, for certain Tetsudo fans, that is very rude. Doing anything disrespectful to a train or disrespectful on the tracks is considered really bad behavior, rude behavior. But meanwhile, in the US or other countries, it's nothing. It's no big deal. And that just comes with knowing more about the culture, and just the way of doing things. It's hard to fault, but at the same time, I can understand why Japanese get upset by that. But at the same time, I put myself on the person who's a foreigner just traveling to Japan with children and not knowing, oh, you know what, standing on a seat with your shoes is not a good thing. Remember, this is a culture that insists that people do not wear shoes inside, and it's a bad thing to have shoes on top of tatami mats. These are things that people are not familiar with, and that's something where Japanese tend to reinforce and emphasize to people, and you get to learn these little nuances. But people who are traveling on vacation or no, they won't know that, because these things are done in their country. But they could say, oh, this is Japan, this is not USA, this is not Germany, this is not France, or this is not Italy, this is not Australia. Again, people are not going to be conscious of that. So there's nothing wrong with letting them know, but at the same time, if the communication is not there and you guys don't speak each other's language, it just doesn't make anything easier. And the people that comment, we are Chinese, and then they spoke Chinese, I don't think they're just doing that to be rude. It's just that we cannot communicate with you. Because I'm sure if someone did that to a person from the U.S. or another country, if you don't speak to them in English or their language, they won't know. But at the same time, it works both ways. It's unfortunate, right? It's just how it is. Especially, I think one of the things that I notice with Japan, and where some people are not aware of, is like doing video or doing photos. In the U.S., we see a lot of people who break out their cell phones and take video or take pictures of whatever or whoever with no care in the world. In Japan, it's considered rude to do that, and you need to ask permission for everything. You know, every time I go there, maybe even shooting a picture of bread or from a bakery or whatever, I would ask the question, or going into a shop asking question, may I take a picture of this? And they'll let you know, yes or no. You know, there's times when I went in and I said, you know, can I take a picture or can I do video? They say yes. And the next thing I take out my camera, they say, oh, no, not with nice camera, only with a mobile phone. The mobile phone probably has great technology. These, when it comes to photography and video, so I'm not sure why they really care, but I follow the rules. So, but again, these things happen. But you can understand why there are Japanese who get upset by that. But I'm sure it can happen in other countries as well. Okay, let's check out a video. This one is it's a Tomix N700S 8000 series. And this is one of the new ones, the Kamome. And this person, I think he said he added some lights on it. So let's check it out. That's a lot of LED lights, I'll tell you that much. No, it's not that much. All you need is just one. One set, that is. Which comes with 6. Interesting how they got that paneled that way. So he did a lot of work on his own personal viaducts. Lighting looks pretty cool. And I really need to get more of those stands, those Tomix stands right there. They're just hard to find. I don't want to have to buy an expensive set just to get those, but sometimes they're just a pain. Oh, it looks nice though. Oh, you got the steam. Oh, very nice. Oh no, what is that? What train was that? I mean, oh man, I love having Shinkansen, but you really have to have a big room for it. It's one of the reasons why I cut down buying Shinkansen, because I really wanted, when I first started out with train riding, I really wanted to emphasize the Shinkansen, but it's a little, larger in size, and it just looks so much better just to get room for it, to make the space for it on longer tracks, that is. That's pretty cool. I think LED lights does add a lot to a collection, and I have invested in LED lights for my trains, but I really do not want to go too crazy with it because being a completionist, that means that I will want lights for every freaking car. And remember, you only get 36, and they cost about close to under 4,000 yen, which is like close to $40. So I mean, you can get them probably like much cheaper, on the cheaper end, about 33, 35, but most often they're close to 4,000 yen. You're going to be paying close to $40 or so. So the same with Tomix. Tomix and Kato, they're both expensive no matter what. Okay, let's move on to the next video. Okay, so something I want to talk about right now is the GreenMax and their structure kit, the 2160. And for those not familiar with the GreenMax, back in 1975, Suzuki Masao opened a model retail store, hobby shop. It's called Hobby Shop Max. And for short, they called it Max, and it was based in Itabashi. And the company would later adopt the name GreenMax to mean the green band displayed under the side window of a green car. Well, they were known for their catchphrase in the 70s, Sukuru Tanoshimi Ippai. Lots of fun to create because of their many different kits. But they moved into this new slogan of Sukuru Ugokasu Atsumeru, make, move, and collect. And one of the reasons why Suzuki wanted to create his own business was because he enjoyed model railroads and he enjoyed doing his layout, which he called the Sotsuya Express Electric Railway. And he was featured in the Model Railroad magazine. GreenMax would be known for their finished and unfinished works. And, they make very good structures. And because I was needing Japanese traditional buildings in my diorama, I decided to get these two. And these two are unpainted. And how they work is that they come in runners. Let me give you a picture here. So this is the runner right here. And you would have to actually glue them. Because they're not like Gunpla, where you can just snap them together. It doesn't work that way. If you have some modeling cement or something to stick them on, you want to go slowly at slow. The instructions are pretty much easy to follow. You get extra parts, so you can make two types of buildings, as you can see in this picture right here. So you get they're all gray pieces, and you want to use a cutting plier just to get just to make sure there's no nubs, and then then put together. But some people may want to paint them while they're still on the runners. But it's totally up to you. For me, I tend to use this as more background. And if I had to do it again, I would probably just paint the roof area darker gray or darker brown. I would have done that, but I think that's one regret. If I had to do it all over again. And who knows, I might buy another kit, because they're quite inexpensive. They're like, what, $12 US? And here's the runners here again. But I think if anything that makes this kit so worth owning, it has to be the stickers. You get literally, I don't want to say hundreds, but you get a lot of stickers of different types of shops. I don't think I've run across. Okay, they're the Kato or Tomix station stickers. You get a lot of those, but the stickers that come with this set is just amazing. There's just so many stickers that you could use and don't have to use. They're just extras, and if you want to use it for another structure, go for it. But the thing is that for the price, it's well worth it just for the stickers alone. But it's a good structure to have if you're looking for a traditional structure. If you want to put one together for your diorama, it's definitely worth getting. Again, it's not that expensive at all. It's just like about let's see here, was it 1,200 yen? Okay, it's 1573 yen, which is under $12. So that's a great price. again, this is a green max structure. They're as most Japanese diorama or train sticker sets, they're not like Gunpla stickers where they're pre-cut. You'll need a blade to cut those stickers, so just know that in advance. You get big stickers, small stickers, medium-sized stickers, you name it. Now, again, I would definitely use rubber cement or so, or modeling cement, or some type of glue that is quick to dry, and so you could attach the parts, because otherwise you just want to be patient, wait till it dries before you start adding another side of the wall. When you put the walls together, it is hollow inside, so you could put your own lighting if you want. But I do feel that the structures are well made, easy to put together, and if anything, you just make sure that you just decide what color you want to go, since everything's a little gray, which colors you want to color in, or paint, or spray paint, or whatever, or using airbrush. Make those decisions. The only thing with color, aside from the stickers, is that you get this like let's see if I can get the main. Here we go. You get these plastic like window things here, I guess to indicate that it's windows. So as you can see here, right in this area, you see those little holes for the windows. Well, if you put this little plastic see-through thing, you can make it look like it has curtains, or there's like a certain special covering. So again, this thing, for the price of what they sell it for, it's well worth it. I mean, geez, just for $10 alone, I think I would pay for that just for the stickers that came with this box. But again, it's a good set, and get it now while it's cheap. You can find it on Amazon Japan. No need to spend too much on this, but yeah, you could get this cheap on Amazon Japan. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this train right here. This one's for the Tomix 97924 limited edition Sanriku Railway 36700. The thank you from Kamaishi wrapping train. So in the Iwata Prefecture, the Santetsu 36700 series DMU is a recognizable train. Let me show you a picture of that. This is it right here. The train in this area is well known for its red, white, and blue. And the Sanriku Railway is a third sector railway company that operates its line through the Sanriku Coast in Iwate Prefecture. The railway was established in 1981, but 30 years later, the railway was damaged badly due to the March 2011 earthquake and tsunami disaster. The station buildings, the road beds were washed away, and 3 cars were decimated. 5 days later, the operations remained only between Kuji Station and Rikuchi Noda Station, but it did bring some hope to the community when this line was able to operate, even though it was not fully operational. Because they had cars that were damaged by the tsunami, with the support from Kuwait, 3 new cars were made: the 36701 to 361-703. Which was newly built and introduced with the support of Kuwait. And so right here, under this little window right here, you will see the words in Arabic, English, and Japanese that says, "We greatly appreciate the support from the state of Kuwait." Now, by April 2014, they were able to resume full line operations. It took that long, about 3 years. Well, actually 3.5 years possibly, but they were able to make 3 new cars, the 36704 to 36706, which were newly built and introduced to the Northern Rias line. And in 2018 to 2019, 8 extra cars, which are the 36711s to 36718s, were introduced for the extension for the Rias line and taking over the JR Yamada line. So in 2019, Kamaishi and Iwate wanted to thank everyone worldwide for their support of Iwate, for what it suffered during the tsunami and earthquake disaster. Many people came out to show their support and provide donations for the people who were affected in that area. So to showcase the smiles of the kids, Kamaishi Higashi Middle School, along with 117 students, worked on a train wrapping sponsored by Kamaishi City, Smile Tohoku Project, and Cow Corporation. And for Tomix, they went ahead and created a train based on this. Let's see here. So this is the box right here, Smile Tohoku Project. The 36702 reproduces the thank you car from Kamaishi. That's the motor car right here. And then this is a regular T car, so non-motorized. But you can see right here the unveiling of this train. And when you put together, this is how it is. As you can see, there are no pantographs, but you can see how it was really well done with the character faces of drawn by the children at the middle school. And you can see here with a thank you from Kamaishi and that on the top section, while the T car features the popular red, white, and blue. Let me show you another one here. This uses a special T-end coupler to connect both trains. I actually added the LEDs to this, and because the seating is orange, the light goes from a little white to like a little subdued orange, almost like a warm color, but a little bit more towards the orange side. While I do only keep I usually tend to purchase trains that I usually have ridden on or have seen close up. This is probably one of the first ones where I did not ride or never saw this train, in person in my life. But one of the reasons why I wanted to add this to my collection, because I have been to areas that were devastated by the tsunami disaster, and I think for me it was more to support this project of what the people of Kamaishi were showing this thank you. And I said, you know what, this is a rare train to see, so I wanted to get it and add it to my collection, and I'm glad I did. Because I've visited regions all over Japan, and I felt that this train, exhibits the positivity of hope, of carrying hope in the smiles of people and the children of Kamaishi and also Iwate Prefecture. I felt nothing but respect and compassion for these people who are still rebuilding to this day, over a decade later after the disaster. But this train has no pantographs. It features a flywheel with a new the 13 motor. The M13 motor is just really, I like it. I like it a lot. So, let's see here. I'm trying to find the headlights and tail lamps. The headlamps and tail lights are rather interesting. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can get a. No, not this one, but I know I have a picture here somewhere. But anyway, well, here's one example right here of the ending. Okay, so when you put the cars on the tracks, you'll notice that on the motor car, let's see here if you'll notice on the motor car that the lights will show up on the top right here, and in the back you'll see the tail lights, which are two red LEDs. But once you attach this T-car, you need to make sure you put it in the right direction, because if you put it in one direction and and it's the front, you'll notice by the lights showing on the top hood. Otherwise, if you flip it around, the lights will only show up on the tail light. This is very interesting because you never run across Tomix trains like that. Usually they'll work both ways. The light would switch. Not so much with this one. You kind of pretty much have to know which side to put it on. And how is that done? Well, bring it up here. These are the head markers. The head markers, I would put this one on the motor train car in the front, and then this one at the rear of the T car. You would take this and you would glue it to the center, and then you would glue this big white thing to your train in the front. Unfortunately, unlike Kato, it's not magnetic, and unlike Tomix, it is well, no, this is a Tomix. Unlike Kato, there is no magnetic, and what I like about Kato's head marks is because you don't have to glue anything really. You just put it on there, it stays on the body because it's metal and it's magnetic. Tomix makes you kind of have to cut it from the nubs and then glue it onto your train, which I don't like doing, but in this case I did want to do it. So it's gonna look something like this, like you see right here with the white, and then you see this here with the red. But for the most part, oh, you also get some stickers as well with the nameplates of the locations. But other than that, what makes the this set so special, and it would be the LED lighting. Let me bring this up real quick. So from the 979, I think 201s, or no, like the 21s to the 25s, so 5 sets. These are the sets that they were limited edition, and they came with interior LEDs for both cars. That's rather insane. It doesn't usually happen that way. You usually have to purchase the lights yourself, but I think Tomix was doing experimentation at the time of including LED lights, because they haven't really done that with, you see it on the more expensive train sets, but not the more cheaper ones. So I found that interesting that LED lights were included. But yeah, I have nothing but mad love for this train. It's really cool. I like the colors. I like how it stands out. And, you know, I really have no negative things to say. It does come with extra couplers, not the same TN couplers, but looks like Rapido couplers. But for the most part, I'm quite happy with the Tomix 97924 limited edition Sanrico Railway 36700. So I think if anything, this shows the hope that the hopes and dreams that many people provided these children from their support and their well wishes. They're grateful for that, and I think this train is really awesome, worth getting, and just a big sign of the positivity of Japanese culture and their resilience. So this limited edition is definitely recommended. Oh, and there's one thing I want to plug. If you go to the JR East YouTube channel, they have this this compilation to celebrate the 150th year anniversary of the first train that debuted in Japan. And I'm going to show just a little bit of it. I'm just going to show that much. You guys have to go ahead and look for it, but there's just so many trains featured in it, and I think it's really awesome, so please check it out. It's the JR East YouTube channel. Okay, so for this episode, this focus is going to be on one of the worst railway disasters in Japan. I figured it's probably time to discuss it, and since we are approaching the 18th anniversary of this tragedy, and this is the JR Amagasaki derailment that took place in April on April 25th, 2005. I thought about saving this one, till the end of April, but I said, you know what? I think it's, more than appropriate to discuss it now, especially with the derailments that have been happening in different parts of the world, especially in the U.S. This one is probably one of the most interesting case studies that one can do in terms of Japanese culture and Japanese railways. So there's a lot that came out of this case, and how would I say it? It brought some change, but also it highlights some of the unfortunate things that do happen behind the scenes, and that is the punishment towards Japanese conductors when they do not make their times. A lot of people have played Japanese train simulator games, and of course certain games, on their punctuality, it's very important to be there on time. I know that playing a simulator game, I'm never on time. I'm always like 5 minutes or so, or 3 minutes, late. And it's because I don't want to go too fast, and, I don't want the train to derail. And that's just on the simulator video game. But imagine in real life. We've seen accidents in the U.S. that are primarily, you hear about a lot of people going too fast, or people who are just too tired because they're pulling double shifts. There was no coverage, and haven't had adequate breaks or any day offs, and they were just run down tired. In Japan, this is an interesting case. Okay, so what transpired here was that on that morning, the 23-year-old conductor, and I'm not going to say his name, but he had 2 infractions already. He didn't want to lose his job, so what he did was he went up to 120 kilometers per hour, which is about 72 miles per hour. He was trying to lessen the time to get to the next station, because he already messed up twice, which lowered the speed of his train. I think one time the train stopped, and the other one, yes, I'm reading here. 25 minutes before the derailment, he had run a red signal, causing the automatic train stop ATS to bring the train to a halt. The train had also overshot the correct stopping position at an earlier stop at Itami Station, with more than 3 carriages requiring him to back up the train, and resulting in a 90-second delay, about 4 minutes before the disaster. So, the investigators felt that the driver was trying to make up for lost time by increasing the train's speed. And again, if you play train simulator games, you know what I mean by this. You see that you're late. So what do? You try to play with the speed as much as you can without causing any issues. Well, in real life, you do that, and there could be some repercussions. But if you are late in a country who demands punctuality, this is where the investigation found some interesting things that also brought it out to the world of how Japanese are focused on punctuality, near perfect timing. Commuters depend on it, especially for work, especially to get to work in time, to get in school in time. People demand near perfect. No excuses. No, delays are bad. It's just part of the culture. And the thing is that a lot of these trains are, have congested schedules. And so what came out of this case was that the driver was afraid that he would have to take part in what they call a retraining program, a Nikin Kyoiku. And this education, they look at it as, it's in a way, if you were to to make an equivalent to it, it's almost like hazing, like a fraternity member hazing another one. But in this case, they call it psychological torture, where you have them weeding and doing grass cutting duties, and they go through. From the report said that they went through severe verbal abuse. They would have to write extensive reports in order to repent, and they were forced to perform minor tasks, cleaning instead of doing their normal jobs. And the driver, the 23-year-old driver, did not, because he had so many, had 2 infractions prior to the accident. He didn't want to have a third major one and possibly lose his job. And so, unfortunately, going too fast, the train derailed, and the front 2 cars slammed into an apartment building. The first car slid into a first floor parking garage, and the second slammed into the corner of a building. And it was crushed to the point that it made the shape of an L by the weight of due to the weight of the remaining cars. And of the 700 passengers that day, 106 were killed, including the driver, and 580 passengers or so were injured. And to this day, many of the passengers still have mental anguish, mental health problems because of what happened. And why it was so shocking in Japan was because it was the most serious rail accident since 1963, since the Surumi rail accident. And the Surumi rail accident was when 2 passenger trains collided with a derailed freight train, and 160 people were killed in that one. So it's this one was terrible because this was on the Kaido main line in Yokohama, and it was a JNR class EF-15 electric locomotive, and wagons overturned, and coming within seconds was a 12-carriage electric multiple unit EMU train, which was carrying 3 passenger cars: the Kuha 76039, Moha 779, and the Kumoha 50006. It derailed, fell on the side of the 4th and 5th carriages and of another 12-carriage train. And 161 dead, 120 injured. And the reason for that, the JNR investigation said that that the speed of the freight train was not excessive, nor were there any problems found in the line or rolling stock. And to this day, that first major, the first worst rail accident in Japan, at the time, they found no problems. And it, they couldn't understand why it happened. But later, as a result of the investigation, they realized that, they needed to change the static track inspection and replace it with new track inspection cars, which does dynamic inspection methods and data collection. And as you notice, in Japan, they really use pretty much advanced technology for their testing cars. But when it comes to trains that went high speed and derailed from a sharp curve, there has not been one that has had over 100 people killed in an accident since this or prior, even prior to this this accident in Amagasaki. I think I can't. There was one because there was now I remember there was one terrible one that happened back in 1947 prior to the Surumi rail accident, and this is the worst railway accident that occur in Japan. And this was the Hachiko line derailment. And this one, 184 passengers were killed, 495 were injured, and they said that it was due to excessive speed and due to the overcrowding, because the trains back then were wooden passenger cars, which were already worn out during the war. So they started from that accident from 1947. They said that they're going to replace all the wooden passenger cars with steel bodied cars, and at least there's some positive improvement that happened after that. With the Surumi rail line, of course, they added the new tracks inspection cars and with newer technology, so that's a positive. As for the Amagasaki derailment, again, so many people died, and this is a little interesting thing about when it comes to Japanese culture, is when you see the reasoning and the mindset of why this happened. In the U.S. or other countries, when someone creates a crime like this, so heinous, the suspect, the person that was is suspected of causing the problem, tends to be vilified. In Japan, the 23-year-old driver, of course, was seen as fault, but because he was scared of being punished and going through the torture, which led him to overspeed, many felt that this was a problem because of JR West and how they punish their conductors. And what's interesting is that while the driver was killed in this accident, the person that was held liable for negligence was the West Japan Railway Company president, Yamazaki Masao. He was charged of negligence in 2009, and he resigned. He resigned from his job, and let's see here, back in 2012, so years later, he was found not guilty, saying the accident was not sufficiently predictable to merit of finding guilt. However, JR West was criticized for faulty risk assessment of the curve where the accident happened. So, I don't know. Which side do you feel that you could be on? This is a very complicated story. This is a very complicated situation. It's part of Japanese culture that some people from different parts of the world that don't understand Japanese culture will say, this is just crazy. This is the driver's fault. He's 23 years old, doesn't have experience. He's just a kid driving a train. This is just bad. This is just bad that they got a young kid. No, that wasn't the problem. There was more to it. And again, they don't know what went on the mind of the driver, but it's all speculation that he did it. He tried to go faster to make up for speed, because he had 2 infractions. One that stopped the train, and by becoming late and not punctual, that would lead to punishment, and he was too scared to face that, and he went too fast. So the building was hit. The building hit by the train was demolished in 2017, and as of 2019, a memorial had been built on the site, with only one corner of the building left standing. And even as of today, the JR West homepage still has the report that with the text that reads, "We will never forget the Amagasaki rail crash we caused on April 25th, 2005. Hence, the word that they used, we. Yes, it was a JR West driver, but was it JR West negligence, or was it just, again, which side do you feel that is at fault? I think these are just one of those situations where you could say it's a combination of things. And what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna go through some of the footage right here of the accident. I know they're gonna interview some survivors possibly, because this accident celebrated, or not celebrated, but more of it's something that happens almost every year in Japan. They try to remember this tragedy. It's almost every March 11th. Before March 11th, they would have memories of what happened with the earthquake and tsunami disaster, and focus on the survivors, show off new footage, or something that shows of how those communities have improved or moved forward since then. With this accident, I think it's more of they do these yearly documentaries, because not only just to remember those who lost their lives, but I think it's a way to showcase that, almost like a safety issue for railways, and also how changes were made within the system for hopefully for the better. It's just one of those tough things. So let's go check out the footage.
17年娘の死を無駄にしたくないんだというようなことと、これ以上
We're going to go forward, and we're going to go look at some of the accident scenes.
責任はどこにあったのか。
There we go.
今
So this is a 207 series EMU train. You could see there, just it's smashed. Like you said, like they said, it was like an L shape. But this is, look at this. This is just terrible to see. And you can see why the amount of deaths were so huge. We're going to go to more footage here. I mean, I can remember this happening. Remember seeing it in the news, and at the time I was a designer for. I had my own communications firm at the time, and I remember having the news on and seeing what happened in Japan, and I was just like, wow, that is just insane. Because in Japan, you usually tend to think that with a major railway, with a history of railway, various trains and their safety protocols, you never hear of derailments. Possibly, again, World War II or even the 60s, but in modern times is not something you usually hear about. But also when developments of the investigation started to come out, showing of what may have caused the driver to go so fast, and then just talking about the past infractions and just not wanting to get punished or receive psychological torture. It's very unfortunate.
JR 福知山線の快速電車が塚口駅と尼崎駅の間で脱線、マンションに激突しました。
So this footage again is courtesy of ABC News in Japan. We're gonna go ahead and move over here.
Okay, before we close the episode, as mentioned with the JR West website, which is at westjr.co.jp, to this very day, you will see this message right here to commemorate the disaster, the tragedy, the loss of life, and I think this will be something that JR West will always remember, and also just a reminder that what happened on that day shouldn't be forgotten. And I think if anything, it's changed the way things are, I hope, for the for the train stations when it comes to the practice of punishment for those conductors who may have had infractions or were slow, didn't meet the actual speeds. Again, I don't know. I am not an insider if the practice still happens. But I think if anything, just what happened in 2005, in April 2005, is something that should not be forgotten. And let's see what's here. Well, do a translation. We would like to express our deepest apologies to those who lost their lives in the train accident on the Fukuchiyama line caused by our company on April 25th, 2005. I would like to express my deepest apologies to the bereaved families, injured people, and their families. We would also like to offer our sincere apologies to our customers and local residents for the great concern and inconvenience caused by the accident. We will sincerely respond to those who have been affected and will continue to work on improving safety and promoting reform. It is a responsibility of the JR West Group and our unwavering resolve to never allow a serious accident like the Fukuchiyama line train accident to occur again. In the future, we will pass on the regrets and lessons learned from the accident and make untiring efforts to build a railway that can be used safely, securely, and reliably. So that's amazing. That's amazing that they continue to uphold this and have it right on their front page for everyone to see to this very day. 18 years later. So I think if anything is that they also have a section here of how they respond to the railway accident investigation report, their efforts to improve safety, their response to victims. Let's see how they their efforts to so after the accident they formulated a safety improvement plan. Okay, and here is the report that was issued in 2007, and how the goal is to plan to build a system to achieve zero customer fatalities. 2015, start with a review of the safety basic plan. Okay. Based on our determination to never allow an accident in the Fukuchiyama line train accident to occur again. And this, it's just pretty much the safety levels and how things have been enacted throughout the years. In 2022, the JR West Group Railway Safety Think and Act formulated to pursue safety by going back to basics, instilling awareness that safety is our top priority. So if anything, just JR West Group is trying to make amends, really pushing their safety of how they are promoting safety, and they learned from this accident. So, and they have something in 2027, another plan. Continuing on the Safety Think and Act plan, let's see what they have. So the JR West Group Railway Safety Think and Do will implement initiatives to further improve safety. Plan 2027 has been formulated in order to fulfill our mission of guiding our customers to their destination safely. We will deepen our approach to safety and work to improve safety with strong awareness of thinking of our customers and meeting their expectations. We will build a railway that customers can trust and feel secure with. And in terms of the response to the railway accident investigation report, JR West says that we received many severe criticism regarding matters related to the management system. We take these comments seriously and are working on improvements and countermeasures. So they have a PDF right there. And in terms of local communities, they established the JR West Relief Society Foundation to provide mental and physical health care for citizens, for those who are directly affected. I think that's a plus. So if anything, going through the website here, the company, JR West has really made progress since 2005, and that's a positive thing. I think a lot of railways can learn from this, and I think that, for one, is just a response of changing and focusing on safety, but also management practices, as mentioned with the punishments that possibly made the driver of that accident speed, and which derailed the accident. I guess no one knows, but to the investigation report, these things were speculated. But if anything, change has been made, progress has been made, and that's a positive. There hasn't been a major accident since then, thank goodness. But at the same time, there's a lot of issues that are happening, not just in Japan or other countries, but I worry about the U.S. as well, as we've been having quite a few derailments, and you wonder about the infrastructure of the maintenance that goes on with the railroad tracks, and also the it's just I don't know. It's hard. It's a little bit complex, but fortunately, I've been watching quite a few videos of certain derailments that happened recently, and not just in the U.S. but also in Europe and all over the world, pretty much. Just to saying what happened there, what was the problem, and I'm not sure exactly how I started watching it. I think what happened was I got into a video of watching model train derailments, and after that, all these derailments that were popular, were pretty much populating my YouTube channel, and they were like documentaries and so forth. And I said, "Wow, this is let's check it out." It was quite deep. It was very deep, seeing how some of these accidents occurred, from people falling asleep to people overspeeding, to just bad practices when it came to safety. And if anything, it's some very difficult situations, and I don't know if they've been resolved, but I think if anything, with all the things that are happening, even up to 2022, you think that things would have been better by now. I don't know. There's something going on. There's something going on of why these things are happening, of more of an occurrence in 2022 to 2023, and it just doesn't seem right. Is it based on infrastructure? Were funds cut? Maintenance to these tracks or the trains? Well, there's something going on, and I think I think with the media highlight on a lot of these situations, we'll just have to keep an eye on it. And I just have to say, big shout out to those who have train YouTube channels, those who actually cover this, who are railway fans, who also want to help out, and they do it on their own way. And I just saw a video recently of a group who was taking photos and video of a train, and they noticed a derailment, that they went and drove their car quickly to try to get the driver of the train to stop, because there was a derailment of one of their freight cars. And that was amazing to see, and you see the driver was just happy that someone let them know, because they could have kept on going not knowing that one of their cars derailed. So yeah, I think there has to be some sort of way or newer technology for a lot of these older train cars, especially the freight cars. And I don't know. I don't know what answers are there. What do you guys think about that? It's a little complex, right? When it comes to the the budget, the funding, to also what can be afforded. It's hard to say. I don't know the state of a lot of railway companies in other countries, but I know in Japan, we know that a lot of railway lines are being closed because certain railroad stations are not making enough money. But in terms of the companies, some of them are not as strong as once would thought. They're selling a lot of their department stores, and they have a lot of Japanese railway stations have businesses in real estate and other areas. I don't know so much about the other companies worldwide, but the thing is that let's just pray and hope that in 2023, throughout the year, and from then on, we don't see these type of accidents in our lifetime. Hopefully, they shouldn't happen with our technology of today, and with our knowledge of the railway system. These things shouldn't happen. But unfortunately, we know that certain things have happened in America and other countries that is a little bit perplexing, and at the same time just making people ask the question of why is this happening. But anyway, you all, I know this is kind of a bummer to end with this episode, but I wanted to talk about it. This is something just to get it out, since we're approaching that 18th year anniversary. So anyway, I hope everyone has a good week, and we will be back with another episode coming up soon. So everyone, take care, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.